Hello, my friends. We're on song number 9, and today we are going to build a musical world around your voice. And this exercise is really, really good for you to get to know your voice really well and what is unique about it and how you can bring out the uniqueness using other sounds that emphasize the cool things about your voice. The thing about your voice is the timbre of it is very much defined by your anatomy. You can improve your voice, obviously, with singing lessons, and like you can improve your singing technique and how you, but just in terms of the sound, the timbre of your voice, it's not going to change a whole bunch. So this exercise is really great for you to create an engaging sound based on your vocals. So that's what we're going to do today. Get ready to follow along. I hope you enjoy it. Hello. The way we're starting out is we're just going to record a vocal. And then we're going to build instruments around that. And I'm thinking for myself, I want to keep it minimal today. First of all, because I'm not giving myself a lot of time. Second of all, because I usually tend to make big sounds. And I want to see if I can be minimalist with my voice. And it's also like the exercise lends itself to. Okay, without further ado, first thing I'm gonna do, because I haven't written any lyrics and I haven't actually thought of a melody, I'm just gonna randomly record something and we'll go from there. So I'll do mine, then you can pause the video and do yours. Okay, I'm just gonna take whatever I have right now. A random track. Okay. Let's see what it is. I don't know what it is, and the structure is weird. Okay. Hold on. I need to put in stuff so that I can hear it through both speakers. Okay. I don't know if I can replicate this. Okay, pause the video. Do your own. Okay, you did your own. Now we're gonna play with singing it like an octave up, an octave down. That's not gonna happen. We're gonna shift it up like 1 or 2 tones and down 1 or 2 tones, or up a fifth or down a fifth. So basically just play with the range to find what suits your voice the best. I think the way I'm approaching this exercise without having an actual set melody and set lyrics is kind of stupid, because I'd have to memorize this now, what I sang. Okay. So if we want to go higher, we'll go. You know what? I'm just gonna write something. I never knew. It sounds so vintage, like so old. That's okay. Okay, let's write some lyrics. I never knew. I never knew how much you miss me. Since we're apart. Since we're apart. I'm feeling pesky. What does pesky mean? Pesky. I like it. It means annoying. Trouble. Causing trouble. Since we're apart, I'm feeling pesky. I have to listen again. Since we're apart, I'm feeling pesky. But my my apple rounded butt is full of bees. I never knew how much you miss me. Since we're apart, I'm feeling pesky. My apple rounded butt is full of bees. So every day when I feel itchy, I'll run around and people point at me. I run around. I'll run around the city streets.
Ba 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 da da ba. Ba 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 da da ba ba.
And the people walking around.
Ba 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 ba.
The people will look at me.
Da da ba ba.
The people walking. The people walking around look at me and stare. The people walking around point at me and stare. Okay. I never knew how much you miss me since we're apart. I'm feeling pesky. My apple rounded butt is full of bees. So every day when I feel itchy, I'll run around the city streets. The people walking around point at me and stare. Okay.
Ooh, ooh.
But I'm fine, I don't care. I'll do my I'll do my okay. You know, every time I do this, every time I start with a voice memo, I get a weird song. The last one I made like this is called Planet. And it goes something like, I just wanna go home and wait. I just wanna go home and stay home, 'cause home's where I'm a cat. Then I turn into a bird and suddenly the earth is just another planet. Then the air turns wet and my bottom grows a fishtail and my hair becomes so long it's the size of a blue whale. And we'll swim next to one another and make whaley sounds. Ooh, 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 ooh. Deep within the water, my whale and I, we find a cat. And I remember where I came from. Suddenly my body's just another cover. My long hair falls off and my skin becomes an oyster. A pearl within my guts that illuminates the earth. And we all shine next to one another and make whaley sounds. Ooh, ooh, and so on. Anyway, that's Planet. We're on an entirely different song right now, and I don't know how this happened. So, we were... I never knew how much you missed me. I never knew how much you missed me. Since we're apart, I'm feeling pesky. My apple rounded butt is full of bees. So every day when I feel itchy, I'll run around the city streets. The people walking around point at me and the people walking around point at me and stare. That melody was different. Pesky. My apple rounded butt is full of beans. So every day when I feel itchy, the city streets. The people walking around point at me and stare. I'll do my I'll do I'll pretend that I'm alone. I feel like I have to change this section. I'm just gonna go like, I'll pretend that I'm alone. It's okay with I'll pretend that I'm alone. When they point, I'll smile and go. Alone. I'll smile, go. Smile and go. Join my, that might be the title then. Join my, I don't want to call her crazy because I think she's cool. What do we want to call what she is? What's the right word? Whimsy? I'll pretend that I'm alone. When they point, I'll smile and go. Join my whimsy. Join my... Maybe we need to invent a word. Join my... Frenzy? What does frenzy mean? Frenzy. I love that I'm using my phone when I could actually use my computer. A state or period of uncontrolled excitement or wild behavior. That's perfect. Okay. Join my frenzy. Frenzy. We'll be friendly. Because I changed the key there. We'll be friendly. And finally, the world will be at harmony and peace. And finally, the world will be at harmony and peace. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna record as we see it in the moment, and then it'll come. The melody will come, and this is gonna be like the most simple song ever. Called An Episode of Frenzy. A frenzy episode. A frenzy episode is what we're gonna call it. Okay, let's go. From the top. Not quite, but we get the point. We get the point. Okay. I hope you recorded your vocal. So next thing we're going to do is we're just going to play around to find the right range of it. So you're going to sing it up 1 or 2 tones, down 1 or 2 tones. Just experiment with it and make it feel comfy. I actually think this is most likely the right range for me because I go up pretty high. I'm not sure I could go higher, but we'll try. I'll try it a bit lower too. So going up, it would be
I never knew
how much you miss me. Let's see.
me and stare. But I'm fine, I don't care. I do my
Maybe I like that one better. Let's hear the high one again.
I never knew how much you miss me since we're apart.
Definitely like the lower one better.
I never knew how much you miss me since we're apart.
It might just be that I got used to singing it and my performance got better, but
I never knew how much you miss me since we're apart.
I like the timbre in my voice in this one. So I'm just gonna record it again. Okay, so hopefully you found out your range. Pause the video and find out your range if you haven't. And then come back. Okay, so you got your vocal. Cat hair everywhere. Next thing we're gonna do is we're just very minimally gonna add an instrument. Just one instrument. Harmonic instrument. I think I want to do the Mobius blips. Now, you want this instrument to be felt. You don't want it to be overpowering, but you want it to just elevate the experience of your vocal, enhance your vocal, and support it, rather than be a thing on its own that overpowers your vocal. So I'm gonna go with the Mobius blips because I've been obsessed with that sound. It's really generic, but I don't know. It just has a fun kind of sound. Mobius blips. Okay, so obviously I've already spent hours figuring out what instruments work with my voice. Try different octaves as well as different voicings for this one. A lower or high voiced harmonic element may be the difference between magic and dust. The timbre of the instrument may also have an effect. Maybe a Rhodes brings out the emotion in your voice, or maybe a grand piano is what brings it alive. So spend time on this. So you've done that, right? You did it. So the next thing we're going to do is craft the space. Reverb is not just an effect, it's a storytelling tool. Decide whether your voice echoes in a grand hall or whispers in a closed room. Where is your story happening? Your reverb is like a canvas. Each space tells a different story. So, I know my songs are like, I mean, you know my artist profile pic. I actually don't know if you know my artist profile pic. Did I show you? I show you. There it is. It's right there. This small little teeny tiny thing. So basically, she's a doll. So everything's cute and I like nursery rhyme stuff. So, but then I like to fuck it up and make it sound churchy and reverby. So that's what I'm gonna try for mine. I'm gonna do reverb. You go ahead and do yours, or you can watch me and do yours later. But I only have 5 minutes left on the clock. I can do a little more than that. But it's our final call of semester 1 at Artist Springboard, and everyone's presenting the demo that they're gonna work on in semester 2 to finalize for release, because our system is like you have first semester to create a lot of material, a lot of songs, and kind of figure out the direction you want to go. And most of our artists right now have already released songs, and they're still doing the program because it's just useful and it makes you practice. But the new ones, it's really exciting, who've never released before, because they get to pick their debut single. And in semester 2, then they're gonna refine that one, and we're gonna prep the release and prep all the artist branding identity stuff. And so it's exciting. So that call is happening in like half an hour. So let's try the church reverb, which is the one I usually use. And let's just put both in there.
I never knew how much you miss me.
And that's way too much.
Since we're apart, I'm feeling pesky. My apple rounded butt is full of bees.
Okay, I'm gonna add a delay onto my Mobius blips. Mobius blips. Not pretend like I'm alone. I actually kind of like not having a compressor on my vocal and not having an EQ. Did I tell you what you're supposed to do? I can't remember. Yeah, so basically you're gonna craft your space now. I totally drifted back into my song. You're gonna craft your space now. Where is your song happening? Go. Once you've done that, I just put mine into my
The
reverb.
people walking around.
Okay. Next thing we're gonna do is expand the world. Build an arrangement around your voice. Each instrument or sound should add depth, creating a landscape without causing clutter. Think of this as surrounding your voice with a landscape. Every time you add something new, mute it and check that your voice is sounding better with the new element in it. That is your next thing. And then the last point, I'm going to give it to you now because basically you're already making your whole arrangement, right? So the last thing is to break the rules. Introduce an unexpected element or a dramatic shift in reverb at one point in your song. This could be a digital sound in an analog track, a sudden moment of silence, a deep echo, etc. It's almost impossible to be overdramatic in a musical arrangement. Keep your audience engaged with well-placed twists. Remember that you are in the experience business. All right, do your magic. I'll be back with my magic. And then we can listen to each other's magic. Have fun. Alrighty. I may or may not have made something completely useless. It's called a frenzy episode. I'll play the track for you, and then we'll look at the DAW session. Although this one is like, it's so useless. Okay, let's go.
I never knew how much you miss me. Since we're apart, I'm feeling pesky. My apple rounded butt is full of bees. So every day when I feel itchy, I'll run around the city streets. The people walking around point at me and stare. But I'm fine, I don't care. I'll do my and I'll pretend like I'm alone. When they point, I'll smile and go. Join my frenzy. We'll be friendly and finally the world will be at harmony and peace.
What the fuck was that? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, so you were part of the vocal that I came up with. And then I think I left you alone, and all I did was just add some more parts, basically. So this is a lead vocal. Lead. This is just an octave down. So we have these vocals. Zoopy-doopy-doo. Then we have the Mobius blips, which was my first instrument. I kind of just added like a bass line with that. Then I added a couple of different sounds. The bees. I added a bass for the frantic part. Some sparkles and a harp. A BBC harp. Oh, actually, this is the harp. I can erase this one. So, Celeste and harp. Then I added a guitar, which I recorded. And then 2 synths for the frenzy part, and 2 drum parts for the frenzy part, like drum loops, and a kick drum, which it's just showing me the automation. There we go. This is just a kick that starts out quiet and then it goes like, gets louder. It gets louder. So the individual parts, this is boring. This is just a lead vocal. This is just an octave. Boop. For the last word. These background vocals, I kind of randomly recorded something and then I put effects on them. I panned them. I put them in the cathedral, which was my space. But then I put a vinyl effect on them. 1930s vinyl. It's full of bees. So they do their thing there. And the reason it sounds so tubey, I think, is because I sent them to the reverb before I sent them to the vinyl and the compressor and EQ. And I thought that was cool, so I just left it. And here at the end, I just tuned them down an octave. this was fun. I basically just made random crazy frantic sounds and tuned them down an octave. So those are the background vocals. The Mobius bloops is just... It's just very subtle. It's more felt than heard. The B. Which is a native instrument, which is called pitch nuts in Studio One. And it automatically does this pitch drift, which I thought was really cool and sounded like a bee. Then the bass is up here. It's kind of a weird order. Let's pull it down here. Celeste and harp. I don't know. I just like that vibe of combining prettiness with like blah, you know? So just a little bit of heaven in there. It's a little bit of heaven. And the guitar. Which the chords are so... This is a children's song. The chords are so children's songy, which is cool. And then my synths for the frenzy part. So the frenzy part is, you know, the instruments, they're crazy. Crazy. So these synths, I thought those were really cool. They're actually effects in Studio One. So I have like synths. They have a folder with synth session MIDI instruments, and it's an effect more than like an actual pitched sound. And I pan them hard left and right, so they're like... And somehow it reminded me of Stranger Things, and I'm obsessed with Stranger Things right now because we just watched the first 4 episodes of season 5 that came out, and I'm sitting on needles for the next 4 episodes. And I thought it was cool. It reminded me of the Demogorgon and kind of like... Sorry, I just froze. It just reminded me of that. So then there's just a bass. Underwater arp. Bass. Which I like the... This makes it frenzy and frantic. And then it's just drum loops. 1. And I have like a trem effect on it. Very subtle. And then it's glitch drums, which I turned off the effects. I had these effects. You can tell me if what you like better. Yeah, tell me what you like better. This is with the effects.
Frenzy will be friendly and fine.
I don't know. I don't like these effects, so I turned them off. And then the kick drum is just a CVC kick drum. Tico, toco, tico, tico, tico. And it gets louder towards the end. That's it. It's a useless thing I made. I don't think I'm gonna use this. It was just, it's hard to come up with something in like a limited time frame. I love having deadlines. So let's say I know I have to make a song by next week. That works really great for me. And actually, if I'm honest, what works best for me is to only have a deadline and not have too many restrictions. I think that's the way I prefer to work. I know that restrictions generally spark creativity, but well, maybe it's just maybe it depends on my mood. Anyway, the important thing is showing up, doing the thing, because it is a practice. Like, you'll get the juices going. But what's been going on for me is over the last week, gosh, time moves so fast. I don't know what's happening at the moment. I'm like setting up a live show. I've never done this before. So I have to learn all these things. Like, how do I create a lead sheet for other musicians? And I'm meeting all these people to get to know them because we're going to work together. And I'm trying out with different instrumentalists. And, it's like there's been so much going on. And I have I'm playing a solo concert on the 24th, and I'm going to do it with guitar. Usually I do it with my keyboard as well, but I want to do it all on guitar because it's a more acoustic, small environment. And I don't know, there's so much going on. And then we have end of semester at Artist Springboard, so that I put extra time in there, and so it's just been crazy. So that's what happens when things are crazy. But it's all good. It's the end of the year, and we only have one more song to go. I hope you enjoyed this one, and I hope you learned something new about your voice. I'm sure your voice is really, really cool. Or I don't know. What would you name your voice if you had to give it a name? My favorite voice, I could say my favorite artist, is Florence Welch from Florence and the Machine. And her voice to me totally sounds like cinnamon and copper. Like, it just sounds like that kind of color and feel. So, I don't know. I'm curious. How would you define your voice? I think my voice is... It's so hard to define my own voice. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just something I like to do with other artists. But anyway, I hope you had fun. We only have one more song to go next week. So, I will see you then. Ta-ta!